so long as like alchemy.
All right, y'all. Those that follow me on Twitter know that I got blacked out of the telecast. Being in Phoenix, they wanted me to watch the local one. Couldn't get League Pass, couldn't get NBA TV, so I missed the first 6 minutes of the game. I apologize. Pick things up here halfway through the first. Obviously, the big story of this game is the players' huddles coaching the team. And what I noticed right away was a lot more pick and roll. Steph apparently started off 0 for 4. I didn't see it, but I checked the stat sheet. KD got what he wanted when he wanted, driving left, finishing right. Now, Andre Iguodala apparently was the real leader of this whole coaching thing. He really took the reins in practice this morning, and here he is shooting the three. He took it. He didn't knock it down, but the key thing is he took it. But what really stood out for me was his transition defense. Look at him open up the gate in stride, get involved in the defensive stop. Now watch it get swung to him here. Marquise Chris, he doesn't allow him enough time to really commit to coming out. Therefore, he meets him in the paint and it's a foul. But against smarter teams, higher basketball IQ players, it's going to take more than one three-point attempt in order for them to really come out and respect him as a shooter. But look at the tight window. Steph fits that in. And JaVale, did he use the left hand? I'm telling you, this was a special night, y'all. Iguodala again defensively, and then Steph pull up. And what I really liked about Steph was I didn't see the slow start. I heard about it, but it didn't affect him. He remained aggressive and shot himself into a nice game, and there's a dangerous play. You know they love throwing the lob. Josh Jackson's a dangerous player, man. JaVale knows how to fall, very agile in the air. I don't know what you call that, but watch him. He stays down, but then he bites on too many feints. He's just a little over-aggressive with his defense. He gets hit with the drop step spin move from Alex Len. Very disappointing. And there's the prized possession of the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker. And he's just doing too much. You worry about his body and how much they ask him to do. Steph, that's a tough free throw line floater. KD was on some like elitism bully shit in this game. Look at this, pinning that on the backboard. And they think they called goaltending on this. This is a bad call. You're just not used to a 7'1" guy elevating and catching this at the square. Look at that. That's a clean block. But KD, I don't think I've ever seen him have an easier night scoring the basketball. More high pick and roll. And if you let JaVale with a clean lane, it's going to be, oh, jam. Putting a little tilt on it, and they were having extra fun in this game. You could tell the strategy worked well. More Josh Jackson, and that's one of the problems. His shot pocket is too far away from his body, and it allows guys to strip him when he elevates. You see the defense to end the quarter, but Phoenix stayed in it because of Elfrid Payton. If you were to show a kid a tape on how not to shoot the ball, it would be Nick Young, right? Do you see the lean, the tilt, the fade? Too much sauce, but it goes down. I'm not saying he shouldn't shoot like that anymore, but it's just so unfundamentally sound. And then here's Josh Jackson just crowding him in the corner. And they've really just cut Josh Jackson loose and letting him figure it out on the fly. And I kind of question that approach with somebody who's so unfundamentally sound. He doesn't lack confidence, right? But it may be hurting his progression. Watch Iguodala hold Len here. Just a little bit of a chip block, if you will, to not allow Len to roll to the rim on time, much like a running back would do on a blitzer, on an edge rusher, right? The subtleties of Iguodala's defense, and then Klay puts the clampers down on Troy Daniels. All he does is shoot threes, and Klay knew it. And again, it appears that the players prefer the pick and roll, right? Look at this little pick and pop here. David West, that's a little closer than he usually likes it. And those Suns bigs, they're just too tentative here. Watch Andre Iguodala again. He must have got a tune-up, an oil change or something, because look at these afterburners. When he gets low and power dribbles like this down the court, that's when things really happen for this offense. More David West from the perimeter. And I think I'd like to see David maybe shoot some threes. Here comes Patrick McCaw, 5 games and 5 nights, I believe they said. But he's got a young, light body. Now, he is nursing a sprained wrist. More on that later. The real story of this game was one Omri Caspi. Look at him fill the lane and elevate. And it was very obvious that Caspi's body is feeling good. There were several plays that let me know with Omri, like, oh, he's healthy again. I think he's in shape. And he was just wearing it all over his body. Draymond out with some sort of nagging injury. I think it was a sprained finger. You can see it there. And I don't know about the sockless slacks there from Draymond. You know he's got to use a lot of lotion on them ankles. McCaw, little backdoor cut here. And they're looking for him. That was a tight window. There were several of them, and it was almost a little disrespectful. I think Golden State knew like they had no respect for Phoenix, and it almost made it even better because I think they were right to believe that. Now, here's Elfrid Payton, the newest acquisition. And you know he kind of reminds me of a Sam Cassell. I mean, I know that's maybe a reach at this point in his career. Watch the double challenge from Klay Thompson. But Elfrid Payton carried them offensively, and he kind of has that slow game where he gets to the mid-range and he's strong and just very confident. I could see him developing a Sam Cassell type game. And then Klay, the pulley. How about 17 points in 23 minutes? You barely knew he played, right? But he had such a nice impact. Very Klay Thompson-like game. Swing to the corner, McCaw drives, and another finish. I want to see you dunk that, young man. Probably protecting that sprained wrist. And here's a backdoor cut from Steph. Bender. And these young bigs, Tyson Chandler's got to be frustrated. I feel bad for Ty Chandler. Let's start a go-get Chandler campaign. And McCall, what I liked about this was that's the quickest trigger I've seen on a three ball from him all season long. That matters to me. There's Bender, the disappointment. How many can there be on one roster? And then look at Josh Jackson. He just has no clue how to play offense in the NBA, but he's unflackable, right? He doesn't hang his head or nothing. And then this is the play of the game. McCall, corner ball, lines it up. Got it. Barnett, I believe, said it was his first three since December. But it was, and I think everybody knew it, right? The bench was up, and everybody knew it except Pat, maybe. And here's more of Payton. And you see the Sam Cassell game, right? That little, he just takes his time, and I think he's a lot stronger than maybe he appears with that something about Mary hair. He just left it in there. Think about that for a second. Backdoor KD, and he had a layup line. Durant had a layup line. Like I said, effortless scoring from Kevin Durant. More Elfrid Payton. The lob, Tyson Chandler. Like I said, I had mentioned this, man. He still has something left at 35 years old. It's a shame to waste it on the Suns team. The OG in the huddle. Now, if I'm the Suns, I take it as disrespect. I don't come out and say it. I don't complain about it. But internally, I'm disrespected. That's just the facts of it. Look at Josh Jackson try to pull up like he's Steph. Again, the kid's unconscious, fearless, all that. But they may have to tighten the reins a little bit on him. Steph's like, let me show you how to do this, youngin', to close the half. There's a little bonus footage for y'all going into the half, the 2018 Warriors girls. All right. Not as ethnically diverse as we're used to seeing with the dance team for the Warriors, but they moved right. There's Caspi cutting, and it's just been too long since we've seen that. Watch him jump up and grab that rebound. Between KD and Zaza, that's one of those little signs that lets me know his body is feeling bouncy. And then on the ensuing possession, look at him dribble and try to penetrate off the dribble. This is just something we haven't seen from Caspi in months, so it was a great sign, and honestly, just on time, right? I felt like the Suns' young forwards were almost just in awe and intimidated of Kevin Durant. Bender wears number 35, and it's almost blasphemous for him to even think that. Now, the word is, by the second half, Draymond had wrestled control of the clipboard and no one else could coach. Facts. Are you surprised, though? So it was entertaining to see, and Draymond doing what Draymond does. Here's a little insight into Bender. He doesn't give full effort here because he doesn't want to get embarrassed. Now, it's one thing to be smart and gap the smaller guard, but he doesn't challenge right there, right? Because he just doesn't want to get crossed up again. As a coach, you'd rather see the effort than the safe play there. Steph and Caspi lets one go, finally. I don't care if he makes it, just shoot the damn ball, Omri. Now, they did show a little complacency about halfway through the third when they had full control of the game. TJ Warren out of North Carolina State, he's a garbage time extraordinaire. He started getting buckets. And then if you look at this offensive possession, this is like just getting a little too cute with the basketball, right? Just overpassing. But they did well. They coached themselves and checked themselves much quicker than maybe if Kerr was in there. Iguodala, you'd like to see him rise up and dunk that. The little flip, can't get it to go. But look at the second jump there. Very encouraging from Dre. JaVale McGee had 3 blocks on the night. He had 1 rebound, but he had 3 blocks on the night, and he was impressive. Watch out, Marquise Chris, another Suns disappointment, hammers Steph hard. But it's amazing to see how many guys they've whiffed on. Here we go. The afterburners. Checks for LeBron. No one's there. Dunks. No, he wanted KD to run the lane. Look, he's telling KD like, hey, man, I wanted to throw you the lob, dog. I don't want to dunk it. I don't want to jump. This guy's dabbled in some shrooms at some point in his life, I'm willing to guess. And then here we have American Pie, the remake. That's just perfect. But ladies and gentlemen, it gets better. Let me introduce you to Richard Simmons East. Best team in the league, best fans in the league. And I hope it doesn't change when we move to the bougie arena across the bay. And there wasn't the fight you would like to see. You saw, remember, San Antonio beat them by 50 last week? And you can see how, right? Nick hits a three here ending the third. You thought he might go nuts in the fourth with the heat check, but I know I've been hard on Josh Jackson, the Bay Area product, right? But this is something you can't teach. You're down 30. He's picking up ball pressure on Kevin Durant, forces a backcourt violation, and then exchanges words with him. So this is the intriguing aspect from Josh Jackson. The athleticism and the competitive juices that you just can't teach. Start the fourth, it was swaggy again. And like I said, I thought he might go ape shit here in the fourth, but it was more about team basketball, and then this happens. Omri Caspi kisses it off the rafters. So not only did we get a Patrick McCall three, we got an Omri Caspi three, and Coach Draymond loves it. So if we can add the three ball to his cutting and his rebounding, this would be the answer to our bench woes. Never mind Patrick McCall, never mind Jordan Bell being out. If Omri Caspi can play to his potential, that will really cure all with this bench. He finished with 19 points and really was the brightest of bright spots in this fun basketball game. One to go against Portland Wednesday. Now, I think they're going to hold Patrick McCaw out. I'm going to drop my main channel video on YouTube after this, and I'll talk more about that. But this was an interesting look at Steve explained to Jay Ciano, like, look, man, I didn't want to disrespect you. They're going to ask you about it. Look, this was about us, not you, okay? I'm not an asshole. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this different cut from your boy Alk. I'm out.